Hey YouTubers. Well, today I've just got a little easy repair hack. I noticed about a year ago the magnet that lifts up your can lid had fallen off of this old can opener and it was nowhere to be found. Well, lo and behold, I was doing some spring cleaning, and when I grabbed the toaster and picked it up to dump all the crumbs and clean it and everything, found the magnet stuck to the bottom of it. So I want to put that dude back on there, and it's a pretty simple repair. I'll just show you how we're going to do it. What I have obviously is needle nose pliers, a Phillips screwdriver, but that is because the screw that I have has a Phillips head on it. If you have a flat screwdriver for a flat head, that's fine. I've got a file, of course the magnet, and these here are a couple of varieties of wire nuts. And what wire nuts are for, if you're not familiar, is they are to twist wires together to make a good solid connection. And they come in varieties like this one, which is all plastic, which is for smaller stranded copper wire, or this one, which has a steel insert, and it actually used to have a longer skirt, but I sanded it down because it was too tall if I use it. And the ones with the steel in them are for solid copper wire, like say your 12-2 or your bigger gauges that are running your lights or in your walls or anything. And the reason I'm going to use wire nuts is they are tapered inside with a pretty coarse thread, which just about matches the screw that I'm going to use. And I've got this drill here. The reason I have this screw chucked up in a drill is the head on the screw is too big to fit the recess in the magnet. It won't fit on there. And so this magnet needs to move up and down, but it also needs to pivot as it needs to be, because the can does not sit on these square all the time. And so I need that to fit down in there, and like I said, the screw head's too big. So one of the tricks is you mount it up in a drill like this. You can use a file, a belt sander, a pedestal grinder, a moto tool, whatever, and you just put this up against and you rotate it. And as you do that, you will put an even grind or sand or filing around the head. And if you're using a file, it's important to note that the teeth are pointed away from the handle. So the sharp edge is pointing away from the handle. And so when you file, you know, if you see people back and forth, that's not the proper use of a file. A file cuts on the forward stroke. So you would pressure down, push forward, lift up, back up, and that's the proper way to use a file. Now, when you're doing something like this, spinning it in a drill, you do not want to just sit in one spot, because you will wear out a spot in that file on that one tooth or several teeth. You actually want to run the part that you're spinning up the file. But you also want to make sure that the surface that's contacting the file is running in the direction to properly cut. And so I'm left-handed. I would normally be holding the drill in my left hand, which would be facing the opposite direction like this. I would hold the file in my right hand. So I would want to turn this counterclockwise in that situation. If I'm holding it this direction, of course, I want it turning the other direction. I want it turning, well, it would still be counterclockwise, I guess, but when you're looking at the end of the chuck. But however you do it, you just want it to be so that it's pulling toward those teeth. So I can't, my good camera got dropped, and I haven't been able to fix it yet. And like always, you know, funds are tight. I can't just go out and pay $150 for a new camera. So I'm doing this on the phone, and it would be hard for me. I'm here by myself, so it would be hard for me to do all this properly. So I'm going to pause, grind down the screw using the file in the manner that I described, and then when it is small enough, I will finish. Okay, as you can see, I have got the screw down to a diameter where it fits up in there. Okay, on these can openers, and on most can openers, if you rotate this all the way up and pull it back, it comes off. And that's because it pivots, but it's also makes it easier when they build them in the factory, when they package them and all that. So now what I need to do is stick that up through there. And I need to put one of the wire nuts on there. And I don't want it tight. Like I said, it needs to float. So once again, I'll pause the video. Sorry about the shaking. I will do that, and I'll come back. Okay, so I have the magnet installed. Ended up using the orange one because sorry, it fit correctly. Now I probably could have sanded down the yellow one, made it smaller. What it was, when you put everything up in there, it just didn't bite the screw. They didn't mesh together on the threads, but the orange wire nut did. So I have it all mounted back on there. Let's see if there's a little bit of distance between the magnet and the lid, which it may be too long. The distance may be too great. Let's see if it actually works. And if not, I'll have to find a longer screw and do the same thing. Okay, looks like that worked. So, guys, that's just a simple little repair. You know, you don't have to throw things away just because they don't work quite right or they get to be annoying, and trust me, that thing was annoying all this time. But anyway, thanks for watching.